Hey y'all, I wanted to talk about how life can be fascinatingly what was the word? Fascinatingly, life can always be what you make it in such fascinating ways. I'm thinking right now how what are demons and angels? Anything can be a demon. The first sign in the zodiacs, Aries, is a ram. It's a skull. It's the skull, the demon skull, the skull, the head that you see associated with Satan. And so, how you can find and dig into that is also Aries is the first sign, is the first part of the body. Since it's the first sign, it represents the head. It's the first part of the body. And motherfucking, so that's the mind. Everything's in our heads. What we see, everything's what we make it. It's in our heads. And even our feet, we have a heel. And it can be like hell. It can almost sound like hell. And then your head, you put on helmets. There's a lot of associations you can make, but life is always what you make it. A hell is always a repetition, something that you get sick of. You might feel mentally ill of a situation and you're doing the same things, but life is always what you make it. There's always going to be a way to do things different and um and break out of that. There's always a ton of unique ways. You just have to figure it out for yourself using your senses. And so life is always what you make it. A demon is supposed to be somebody that offers you something in return for a ripoff. You don't know it when you're offered, but you're asking for something not knowing you're getting ripped off. So anything can be a demon. It's a distraction. It takes you off track. Distract. And so anything can be a demon. It's all what you make it, how you take things. And so how you take things in your mind. And so expressing it out, putting it out is another thing. And yeah, life is always what you make it, like that. It's you can find a lot of meanings in with the zodiac signs and the parts of the body they represent. um like Leo simply is ruled by the sun, or rules the sun. And the sun, Leo is known as uh the sign that gains a lot of attention, the most hated. And to be the most hated, people have to give you attention. And the thing about that, the sun, something that shines. We all have every aspect of every sign. And of Leo, we all have a glow. We can have a glow up. You shine, at your own time. And so you know the sun is about illuminating, exposure, exposing what's around, exposing the darkness, shining light on the dark, in the dark. So life is always what you make it. You glow when you want to. You shine when you decide you want to shine. And sometimes we shine without trying. Sometimes another way I want to speak about is when somebody doesn't like you, but you didn't do anything for them to not like you. It's that person. It's all in their head. They might see you living your life, being yourself, and you're giving them ideas that they don't believe it's worth it. It's worth taking those ideas and sticking to those ideas. Just watching how you live and how you walk. They get distracted. They don't like you. Somebody who likes you and you don't give them a reason. You're just being yourself. You're living in your world, and that other person just sees something that they disagree with, and it's being complacent, always complaining. you know that's how we can put ourselves in a hell, is complaining about something that just keeps happening. We get sick of it. Too much of anything is bad for us. I've been eating a lot of Takis. I was eating a lot of Takis the last month. Blood pressure was going up. Anyways, I haven't really got sick. I'm strong. I can take it. It's just you gotta realize when what's happening to you and what you do to others as well. Um, so when somebody doesn't like you, and you're not doing anything to not make them like you, they're just in a hell. They don't feel good already. They're experiencing something. It's a kind of mental illness to be like that, to just like people, and you don't even know them, their story. um the only way we can change the world is by speaking to people who, we can't change the world speaking to people with the same minds all the time. For example, like the KKK leader once before had stopped being racist and resigned from the KKK because he was tricked into speaking to a black journalist. It was a black man, set up an interview. He didn't tell him he was black, but they met at a hotel or whatever. After they had a good interview, he actually asked him questions. And so, that's a good example of how we can't change the world speaking to people with the same minds all the time. So, of course, we have to, that's eventually everybody can be speaking to each other and realize that we're all the same. Once we realize that, we have to share our thoughts with people who are different, to give them a different insight. There's going to be people who are going to be sick of what we have to say, sick of our ideas, of the way we live. And there's going to be people who are going to be more open to it and, ready to change, ready to take those ideas in and say, wow, you got a point, because they might not feel as sharp as you, like their vision might not be as on point and as yours. They're agreeing with, your ideas. And so, everybody's different. So, the decisions we make to change our lifestyles, all sorts of things. I've been through a lot. I've had a lot of decisions to make, and I still do. But I'm just trying to take it slowly and focus on what I've been focused on since I was young, and how I can do it best, by myself on my own as an individual, inspiring others, and not doing things differently and not trying to annoy anybody. Doing my thing. I try not to bother anybody, but people will still end up not liking you because their world is just totally different from yours. And so, it's just waves crashing, worlds colliding. And yeah, it's fascinating how life is always what we make it. It's all in our heads. It's in our purpose as well, our passions, what we live for, what we get up out of bed every day for. So, yeah, angels are people who mind their own business. They're not bothering. If anything, they're helping as well. And you can be helping people without knowing it. Yeah.